Dear students, in this session, you are going to learn 12th Standard Computer Science, 6th chapter, Control Structures. The main concept you are going to learn in this session: control structures, sequential statements, alternative or branching statements, looping statements, while loop, for loop. What do you mean by control structures? A program statement that causes a jump of control from one part of your program to another part of your program, that is called control statements. Okay, these control statements are also called as compound statements. A computer program may contain set of statements. Okay, you have to execute these statements to get the result. Basically, these computer program statements are executed in a sequential order. Sequential order means what? One by one. Okay, one after another. So that is called sequential statements. Okay, sequential statements. These sequential statements are executed one by one in the sequential order. But in some places, we need to skip some set of statements and execute another set of statements based on the condition. Okay, so this type of statements are called alternative or branching statements. Okay, alternative or branching statements. Suppose we may need to execute a set of statements multiple times, then that is called iteration or looping statements. Okay, so these three types of statements are called control statements. Okay, so the program statements jumps from one part of your program to another part of your program based on the condition. That statements are called control statements. Okay, which means it skips some segment of your program and execute another segment of your program based on the condition. So that type of statements are called control statements. Okay, that control statements are also called as compound statements. These control statements are divided into three types. What are they? Sequential statements, alternative or branching statements, iteration or looping statements. Okay, so in this video, let us see about sequential statements. Okay, in the next video, I will explain about alternative and branching statements, and after that I will explain about iteration and looping statements. Okay, now let us see about sequential statements. Okay, sequential statements are executed one by one in the sequential order. So sequence of statements which are executed one after another. Okay, one by one. So now let us see one example. To print a person name and address. Okay, print hello, this is Shyam, and next statement is print address 43 second line TN. So this is the first statement, this is the second statement. The sequential statements are executed in the sequential order. Okay, which means one after another. So first this statement will be executed and next this statement will be executed. Okay, so you will get the output for this code. Hello, this is Shyam, and next address 43 second line TN. This is the output for this code. So sequential statements are executed one after another. Okay, first you have to execute first statement and next second statement, next third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Okay, you have to execute in the sequential order. Okay, so this is about sequential statements. Now coming to the next topic, alternative or branching statements. Okay, this alternative or branching statement is also called as decision making statements. Okay, in our day-to-day life, we need to take various decisions and choose alternate path to achieve our goal. For example, you are standing here and this is your home. So this is the road. Okay, now you want to go to your home, but the road is blocked, so you can't go this way. Then what will you do? So you are taking alternative path to reach your home. Okay, it is called decision making. The same thing you are going to learn in this topic. Alternative or branching means it having two or more choices. Finally, you will get only one result as an output based on the condition. Okay, so these branching statements or alternative statements are executed based on the condition. Okay, these statements are divided into three types. Okay, what are they? Simple if statement, and next one is if else statement, and third if else, which means if else. Okay, a simple if else, if else. Okay, so first let us see about simple if statement. Okay, the simple if is the simplest of all decision making statements. Okay, so the simple if is the simplest of all decision making statements. Here condition will be given in the form of a relational or logical expression. Okay, let us see this index for simple if statement. If condition and then colon symbol, after that write statements. Okay, statements. Here one condition is given and statements are given. If this condition is true, then the block on statements will be executed, otherwise it will be terminated. Okay, if this condition is true, then block on statements will be executed, otherwise nothing happens here. Okay, let's see one program. This is the program to check the age and print whether eligible for voting. First the input function is given, x is the variable, and int input enter your age. Okay, the Python interpreter asks to you enter your age. Next if condition is given here. See here, this is the if condition. If condition is given, what condition? X is greater than or equal to 18. X means what? X is your age. Okay, your age is greater than or equal to 18. Check this condition. Okay, 18 means what? This is the eligible age for voting. Above 18 age is the eligible age for voting. So here 18 is given, and next print you are eligible for voting. So see the output. First enter your age. Suppose your age is 25. Now x equal to what? 25. 25 is greater than or equal to 18. This condition is true or false? 25 is greater than 18. Okay, so this condition is true. So if this condition is true, then you have to execute this statement. Okay, what is the statement? You are eligible for voting. This is the output. Suppose you are giving your age as 13. Okay, now x equal to what? 13. Check this condition. 13 is greater than or equal to 18. This condition is true or not? 13 is not greater than 18. So this condition is false. Get enter your age 13, and next if this condition is false, there is no output will be printed. Okay, only this Python prompt will be displayed on the output screen, because this program does not check the alternative process when the condition is failed. Okay, if this condition is true, then the statement will be executed. If that condition is false, no output will be printed on the output screen. Okay, because here if part only is given, else part is not given. Okay, so if this condition is true, then you have to execute the statements, otherwise no output will be printed on the output screen. Okay, so next see about if else statement. It having two blocks. What are they? True block and false block, which means it provides two possibilities, and the condition determines which block is to be executed. Okay, if the given condition is true, then block 1 statements will be executed. If the condition is false, then block 2 statements will be executed. Okay, simple if statement having block 1 statements only. Okay, true block only. But if else statements having block 1 and block 2 statements, which means it having true block as well as false block. Okay, let's see this index for if else statement. This is true statements, this is false statements. Okay, you have to check this condition. If this condition is true, then you have to execute these statements. Okay, if that condition is false, you have to execute these statements. It is similar to the conditional operator. How will you write this index for conditional operator? This is the syntax for conditional operator. I already explained about this conditional operator in the previous chapter. This is the variable, this is the condition. If this condition is true, then you have to take this value. If this condition is false, then you have to take this value. Okay, this is true value, this is false value. So this if else statement is similar to this conditional operator. Okay, so this is the flowchart of if else statement. You have to start from here and read, and next here condition is given. Condition, if this condition is true, which means if condition. Okay, if this condition is true, then you have to execute these statements. Okay, block 1 statements. If this condition is false, it executes block 2 statements. Okay, if this condition is true, then block 1 statement will be executed. If this condition is false, then block 2 statements will be executed. Okay, after that exit. Okay, so this is the flowchart of if else statement. Let's see one program. Okay, this is the program to find the given number is odd or even. Okay, odd or even. First give the input function a is equal to int input, enter any number. So write the output here, enter any number. Let us assume 30. Okay, so a is equal to what? 30. Next condition is given, a modulus 2 is equal to 0. A means what? 30. Okay, so 30 modulus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, modulus means what? You have to take the remainder value. So you have to divide 30 by 2 and take the remainder value. Check that remainder value is equal to 0 or not. Okay, so what is the remainder value? 0. 0 is equal to 0. This is true or false? True. This condition is true. Okay, so if this condition is true, then print a. A means what? Variable. Value of a is what? 30. So write here 30. Next write this whole string is an even number. If that remainder value is equal to 0, then that number is called what? Even number. If that remainder value is not equal to 0, then you have to execute the else part. Okay, that is a is an odd number. See another one output, enter any number. Let us take 15. Okay, so now a is equal to what? 15. Next check the condition. A modulus 2 is equal to 0. A means what? 15. Okay, a 15 modulus 2 is equal to 0. So you have to divide this 15 by 2 and take the remainder value, then come back with 0. Okay, 15 divided by 2 what? 7. 1 is the remainder value. So 1 is equal to 0. This condition is true or not? Not true. Okay, if this condition is true, then this statement will be executed. Otherwise, if this condition is false, then this else part will be executed. Okay, now this condition is false. So a, what is the value of a? 15. 15 is an number. So this is the example for if else statement. Okay, next let us see about if else statement, which means if else. We have to check the condition first. Okay, if that condition is true, then true block will be executed. Otherwise, if this condition is false, then it checks another one condition. If that condition is true, then block 2 statements will be executed. If this condition is also fails, then it checks the else part. Okay, this is the else part, false part. Okay, so this is the flow chart. This is the if condition. If this condition is true, then block 1 statements will be executed. Okay, otherwise if condition is false, then there will be next condition, that is elif. Okay, next check this condition. If this condition is true, then execute this block statements. Okay, block 2 statements. If this condition also false, execute block 3 statements. Okay, block 3 or block n statements, which means you have to execute the else part here. So after that, stop the program. Okay, if elif else statement is similar to nested if statement, which you have studied in C++. Okay, see one example. In this program, we are going to print the grade based on your marks. Okay, m1 and m2 are called variables. Okay, this is the input function. You have to enter mark in the first subject to m1 variable and enter mark in second subject to m2 variable. This is the output. Enter mark in first subject. Okay, here write your mark 60. The Python interpreter asks you to enter your first subject mark. Okay, so you are giving your mark as an input, that is 60. Okay, what is the value for m1 variable? m1 is equal to 60. Okay, next enter mark in second subject. Here you have to give the second subject mark, that is 70. Okay, now we are going to find out the grade. Okay, here your average mark and grade is given. If your mark is greater than or equal to 80 and above, you will get grade A. If your mark greater than or equal to 70 and less than 80, then your grade is B. If your mark is greater than or equal to 60 and less than 70, then your grade is C. If your mark is greater than or equal to 50 and less than 60, then your grade is D. If your mark is less than 50, then you will get the grade E. Okay, so here now you have to calculate your average. Okay, average formula is what? m1 plus m2 divided by 2. Calculate total number of subject marks and divide that total with the number of subjects. Okay, here 2 subject marks are given. Okay, so m1 plus m2 divided by 2. m1 subject mark 60 and m2 70. Okay, 70. So you have to add these 2 marks. Okay, 60 plus 70 divided by 2. Total number of subjects 2. So you have to divide by 2. Then add 60 plus 70, 130 divided by 2. So your average mark is 65. Okay, your average mark is 65. So now you have to check the condition and find out the grade. First condition is what? If average is greater than or equal to 80, average mark is what? 65. So you have to compare that 65 with 80. Okay, 65 is greater than or equal to 80. Is true or false? 65 is not greater than or not equal to 80. Okay, so it is false. This condition is false. If this condition is true, then you have to print this grade A. Okay, but this condition is false, so you have to skip this statement. Next, see here, elif next condition is given. Next condition is what? Average is greater than or equal to 70 and average is less than 80. Okay, average value is what? 65. Average value 65 is not greater than or not equal to 70. So you have to skip this statements also. Next, check next condition. Okay, average is greater than or equal to 60 and average is less than 70. Okay, 65 is greater than or equal to 60. This is true or false? This is true. Okay, this average is less than 70 and greater than or equal to 60. Okay, so these 2 conditions are true. If this condition is true, then you have to print this statement. Okay, now this condition is true because 65 is greater than 60 and lesser than 70. So print here grade is equal to C. Okay, your grade is what? C. So this is the output for this code. Okay, so this is about nested if elif else statement. Okay, now coming to the next topic, looping statements. What do you mean by looping statements? This looping statements is also known as iterative statements. Okay, when we repeat the same action again and again for multiple times, then we use these looping statements. Okay, for example, if you want to do your work repeatedly for particular number of times, then that is called looping. Okay, which means the same action is repeated again and again. In a program, if you want to print a set of statements repeatedly for a certain number of times, then that statements are called looping statements. Okay, so see here, when the user need to execute a block of code several number of times till the condition is satisfied, which means the looping statements allows to execute the group of statements multiple times until the particular condition is satisfied. Okay, let us see one real world example. If you want to listen your favorite song repeatedly again and again, that situation is called looping. Okay, if you want to print the hello message for 5 times, then you have to use these looping statements. Okay, see here, print hello. You are writing this same code for 5 times is very difficult, and it takes lot of memory space and it takes more time. But when we use looping statements, no need to write the lengthy codes. You have to write only one code, print hello. No need to write this code for 5 times. You just write for only one time and give the condition. Based on that condition, this hello message will be printed on the output screen. Okay, so that is the main use of looping statements. So if you want to execute the set of statements for several number of times, you no need to write the same code again and again. You have to give the condition and execute that statements based on that condition. Okay, what do you mean by condition? Condition is nothing but it is a Boolean expression. It returns either true or false. Okay, if the condition is evaluated true, then you have to execute the set of statements. If that condition is false, you have to exit that loop. Okay, the loops are divided into 2 types. First one is while loop and next one is for loop. C++ languages provides 3 types of loops. What are they? While loop, do while loop, for loop. We all know that, but only 2 loops are allowed in Python. What are they? While loop, for loop. Okay, so what do you mean by looping? Whenever you are doing the same activities repeated again and again, that is called looping. Okay, now let us see about while loop. While loop is also known as entry check loop. What do you mean by entry check loop? Entry check loop means condition is checked at the beginning of the loop. Okay, we have to check the condition at the entrance of the loop, beginning of the loop. So it is called as entry check loop. Okay, so the condition is checked at the beginning. Condition will be checked at the beginning of the loop, and the body of the loop, which means the block of code, is executed only if the condition is true. Otherwise, the loop not executed. The next point, the else part is optional. In while loop, you can write the else part also, but this else part is optional. Okay, you can write the while loop even without else part. Okay, if the else part is written, it is executed when the condition is evaluated to false. So you can write the while loop with or without else part, because the else part is optional. And the next point, it first check the condition. Okay, if that condition is true, then it execute the statements. But the condition is false in the beginning, this while loop is not executed even once. Okay, you will not get any output if this condition is tested false in the beginning. Okay, because it is not executed even once. So let's see the syntax for the while loop. This is the syntax. First write the while. This is the keyword. So you have to write here while. And next write the condition. Here you have to write some condition. Okay. After that, here write the statements. These statements are called block one statements. And the next else part. This else part is optional. Okay. So it is written within the square brackets. Here one condition will be given. If this condition is true, then you have to execute these statements, block one statements. But if this condition is false, block one statements is not executed, this else part is executed, which means block two statements will be executed. So this is the syntax for while loop. Next, see the flow chart. This is the flow chart. The loop starts from here and loop ends here. Okay. So this diamond shape is for condition. Okay. So see here, this while loop having four parts. First initialization, second condition, and third statements, and fourth incrementing the value of the variable. Okay. This initialization happens only one time, which means declaring initial value for variable. Okay. This is a variable. We are giving the initial value 1. Okay. So here this 1 is the initial value. You have to start your execution from 1. Okay. If the initial value is 3, then you have to start from 3. Okay. So first initialize the value to the variable. And next check the condition. One condition will be there. You have to check that condition. Condition means A is less than or equal to 5. So this is the condition. Here A means what? 1. So you have to check this condition. 1 is less than or equal to 5. 1 is less than 5. So this condition is true. If that condition is true, then execute these statements. Okay. Some statements are there. You have to execute that statements. Okay. Next step what? Fourth step is updating the control variable. Here in this step you have to increase the value of the variable, which means A is equal to A plus 1. A means what? 1. 1 plus 1. A is equal to what? 2. Now we updated the value of the variable, which means now the A becomes 2. So now our value is what? 2. So now what is the value of variable A? 2. So check the condition again. Okay. 2 is less than or equal to 5. This is true or false? True. This is true. So execute these statements. Next again update the value of the variable. This value becomes 3 and execute until this condition becomes false. Okay. See here. Here condition will be given. If this condition is true, then it is execute block one statements. And next you have to update the value of the variable. So again check the condition. If that condition is true, execute the same process again and again until the condition becomes false. Okay. If this condition is false, then the loop will be terminated. Okay. Otherwise, if here else part is given here, you can execute block 2 statements. Okay. Here block 2 statements is not given because the else part is optional. Okay. So if this condition is false, you have to exit the loop. Let us see one program to print all the numbers from 10 to 15. Okay. See here, first step is initialization. Okay. I is equal to, our initial number is what? 10. Okay. So I is a variable, 10 is the initial value. So I is equal to 10. Next step is what? Condition. Okay. While, next parenthesis, within parenthesis write the condition. Print the numbers from 10 to 15. Okay. So you have to print the numbers up to 15. So here write the condition I is less than or equal to 15. Okay. Write the condition like this. Okay. Here write the colon. Next what? Statements. Okay. Print I. Here you have to print I. Okay. Next end is equal to /t. In this print statement, end parameter is given. /t means tab. Okay. Tab means what? Some white space between two numbers. Okay. This /t is nothing but escape sequences. Okay. If you want to add new line, you have to write here /n. This is t. T means what? Tab. Tab is used for giving some white space between two digits. Here it prints the value of the I variable. Okay. And next, increment. Increment means I is equal to I plus 1. So this is the program for while loop. Okay. Now let us write the output for this program. First, the initial value is what? 10. Next, check the condition. I is less than or equal to 15. What is the value of I? 10. So 10 is less than or equal to 15. Check this condition. This condition is true or not? 10 is less than 15. So this condition is true. If this condition is true, then you have to execute this statement. What is the statement? Print I. Okay. Print I means what is the value of I? 10. So you have to print the value of I, 10. This is the first value. Okay. Next, end is equal to /t, which means give some white space here. Okay. And next, I is equal to I plus 1. What is the value of I? 10. I is equal to 10 plus 1, which means 11. Okay. Now our new I value is 11. So next, check the condition again. 11 is less than or equal to 15. This condition is true or not? 11 is less than 15. So this condition is true. Then you have to print I. What is the value of I now? 11. So here write 11. Next, give some white space because end is equal to /t. And next, I is equal to I plus 1. Now what is the value of I? 11. I is equal to I plus 1 means 11 plus 1, which means 12. Now our new I value is what? 12. Okay. Now again check the condition. 12 is less than or equal to 15. 12 is less than 15. So this condition is also true. So execute next statements. Print I. I means what? 12. Next, give some white space. Okay. Next, I is equal to I plus 1. I is equal to, now our I is what? 12. 12 plus 1, 13. Now our new I value is what? 13. 13 is less than or equal to 15. Check this condition. 13 is less than 15. So this condition is also true. So print I. I means what? 13. Right here 13. Next, tab, which means white space. Next, I is equal to I plus 1. What is the value of I? 13. Okay. I is equal to 13 plus 1 what? 14. Now our new I value is what? 14. Check the condition. 14 is less than or equal to 15. This is true or not? 14 is less than 15. This condition also true. So print I. Print 14. I value is 14. Okay. Next, give some white space. Okay. Next, I is equal to I plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1 means 14 plus 1 is equal to 15. Now our new I value is what? 15. Okay. Now our new I value is 15. Check the condition. 15 is less than or equal to 15. 15 is less than or equal to 15. 15 is not less than 15, but 15 is equal to 15. Okay. So this condition also true. So you have to print I. I means 15. Okay. Print 15. And next, give some white space. And I is equal to I plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1 means is equal to 15 plus 1 is equal to 16. Okay. Now our new I value is what? 16. Now what is the value of I? 16. Next, again check the condition. 16 is less than or equal to 15. 16 is less than or equal to 15. 16 is less than 15. True or not? Not true. Okay. 16 is equal to 15. Not true. So this condition is false. Okay. So you have to stop your execution here. Okay. Here loop will be terminated. Now see here, print all the numbers from 10 to 15. Okay. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. we got the output. Okay, you can write this while loop with the else part also. Okay, let's see this same program with the else part. Okay, we know that if the else part is given in the program, that else part is executed only if the condition becomes false. Okay, when the I value becomes 16, the condition becomes false, so you have to execute else part now. Okay, else part is what? Print /n. /n means what? New line. Okay, you have to write this in new line. Okay, value of I when loop exit. Next, here's I. Write the value of I here. Okay, value of I what? 16. Okay, 16. So this is the way of writing the while loop. Now coming to the next topic, looping statements, for loop. Okay, so let us see about for loop. This for loop is also known as entry check loop, which means the condition comes at the beginning of the loop. Okay, we have to check the condition at the entrance of the loop, so it is called as entry check loop. The condition is checked in the beginning, and if the condition is only true, then the body of loop will be executed. Okay, otherwise the loop is not executed. If the condition is true, then the body of loop will be executed. Otherwise the loop is not executed. In this loop, the else part is optional. Okay, you can write the for loop with or without else part. Okay, because this else part is optional, you can write the for loop even without else part. If the else part is written in the program, it is executed when the condition is tested false. Okay, if the condition is false, you can execute the else part. Next point, if the condition is tested false in the beginning, the for loop is not executed even once. Suppose the condition is tested false at the beginning, the for loop is not executed even once. Okay, which means you will not get any output. So let's see the syntax of for loop. First write the keyword for, because this is for loop, so write for. Next, counter variable. Counter variable is nothing but control variable. Okay, in this for loop the variable is called as counter variable. Okay, and next write in, and next sequence. What is the meaning of sequence? In this sequence you have to mention initial, final and increment values. Okay, initial means we already studied in while loop. In a loop, we have to initialize the variable, we have to check the condition, write the statements and increment that value of the variable. In the sequence, you have to mention the initial value, you have to mention the final value, that is the condition, and you have to mention the increment value. Okay, increment value means you have to update the value of the counter variable based on that increment value. Okay, in the for loop you can write the list of values using list, tuple, dictionary or range. Okay, here we are using range function to specify the initial, final and increment values. Okay, what is the use of range function? In the sequence you have to use range function to generate list of values starting from start to stop -1. Let's see the syntax of the range function. Okay, range, start, stop, step. We have to initialize the start value, stop value and step value, that is increment value, within the range function. Okay, so this is the syntax for range function. Here stop -1 means you have to calculate the end value is equal to stop value minus step value. Okay, you have to subtract the step value from stop value, that is called the end value. Okay, so you don't take this top value as end value, you have to take the end value by subtracting the step value from stop value. Okay, in some places stop value only given, but start value and step value is not given. In that situation you have to take that start value and step value by default. Okay, default start value is 0. Okay, and default step value is 1. So if stop value only present in the range function, you have to assign the start value as 0 and step value was 1. Okay, see one example. Range start value 1, stop value 30, step value 1. Okay, this is the initial value, this is the condition, this is the increment value, which means you have to update by 1 after the completion of every iteration. Okay, so that is called a step. In the range function, you have to generate the list of values starting from start to stop minus 1. So start value 1, stop minus 1 means stop minus step, that is 30 minus 1, 29. Okay, 1 to 29. Here it generate the values starting from 1 to 29. Okay, this is the stop value, but it not includes this number. You have to subtract the stop value by step value, take that value as end value. Okay, list of values starting from 1 to 29 with the difference 1. Okay, so first you are taking 1, that is first iteration. In the next iteration you have to update one value 2, next again updating one value, so 3, next updating again one value, so 4. You have to write up to 29. Next see range to 32. How will you generate the list of values here? This is the starting value. Okay, so here write 2. Next end value is 30, but the difference is 2. So 30 minus 2, 28. 2 to 28. Okay, so you have to generate the list of values from 2 to 28 with the difference 2. Difference 2 means what? First you are taking 2, that is first iteration. So in the second iteration you have to take next value with the 2 difference. Okay, so next value 4, next value 6, next 8, next 10. So generate the values up to 28 with the difference 2. Okay, so it generates the values from 2 to 28. Okay, range 33 minus 3. Here initial value is 30, final value is what? 3, but decrement value is given what? Minus 3. So how will you calculate end value? Stop value minus step value. Okay, stop value is what? 3 minus step value is what? Minus 3. Okay, you have to subtract this step value from stop value, that is called the end value. 3 plus 3 equal to 6. So you have to generate the numbers from 30 to 6 with the difference minus 3. Okay, which means how will you calculate this? Initial value is 30 and next take minus 3 difference. Okay, so 30 minus 3 what? 27, and next 24, and next 21, and next 18, and generate the values up to 6. Okay, range 20. So what does it mean? How will you generate the list of numbers? Here initial value is not given, increment value is not given. Here stop value is only mentioned. So you have to mention that initial value and step value by default. Okay, so default initial value is what? 0. Default step value is what? 1. Okay, so this range 20 means range 0, 21. Okay, so how will you generate the list of numbers for this range function? Initial value is 0, 0 to 20 is stop value. So this is step value. So 20 minus 1, 19. So it generates the list of values from 0 to 19. Okay, see here, this is the flowchart of for loop. For each item in sequence, take the values one by one. Okay, and check the condition. Check last item reached. First take one value, check last value is reached or not. If last value is not reached, then body of the loop will be executed. Okay, and next increase the value of that control variable. After that again check last item reached or not. If again no, next again body of loop will be executed. Again update the value of control variable. Again check the last item is reached or not, and do the same process again and again until the last item is reached. Okay, if last item is reached, then exit from the loop. Okay, you have to exit from the loop. So this is the flowchart of for loop. Okay, next see on program. First write for within the range function. You have to mention the initial value and stop value and step value, that is increment value. Okay, write here the print statement, print I. Here you have to print the value of I, and the next end is equal to escape sequence. Okay, single quotes. In this program we are going to print the single digit even number. We have to mention initial value and condition and increment value in a single line. Okay, so output 2 is the initial value and stop value is 10, but the difference is 2. So how will you calculate the end value? 10 minus 2, that is 8. Okay, here you have to generate the list of values from 2 to 8 with the difference 2. Okay, this is the output. How will you calculate this output? First take range 2, 10, 2. Okay, so our initial value is 2 and the end value is 8. This 8 is the last value. So you have to continue the execution of loop until you reach the last value 8. That means end value. In each iteration you have to check whether the last value is reached or not. Okay, when the last value is reached, then the condition becomes false. So you have to stop your execution there. Okay, so you have to take first I is equal to 2, that is the initial value. So check this condition, this is true. Okay, because the last value 8 is not reached, so you will get the output print I, that is true. You have to take the next value with the increment of 2. Okay, so 2 plus 2, 4. Next value is what? 4. So here write 4, 10, 2. So this is also true because the last value 8 is not reached. So execute this statement, print I, that is 4. I is equal to 4. Next again take next value with the increment of 2. Okay, so next value is what? 6, 10, 2. So check the condition. This is also true because the last value 8 is not reached till now. So print I means 6. And the next range, take next value with the increment of 2. So 8, 10, 2. Next value is what? 8. Okay. Check the condition. The last value 8 is reached now. So print I means what? 8. So end is equal to single quotes is given. What does it mean? Give some space between all the digits. Okay, that is end is equal to single quotes. And next range is equal to increment by 2 what? 10. 10, 10, 2. Check the condition. Your last value is 8. You already reached your last value. Now our new I value is 10, but you have to take up to 8. Okay, because 8 is the last value. So here the condition becomes false. You have to stop your execution here, which means you have to exit the loop here. Okay, now let us see this same program with the else part. If the else part is given in this program, you have to execute that else part if that condition becomes false. Okay, if I value becomes 10, this condition becomes false. So now we are going to execute the else part. What is the else part? Print /n. /n means what? New line. Next line. Okay, in new line write end of the loop. So this is the way of writing for loop. Okay, so this for loop is similar to while loop, but the difference is in for loop we have to mention the initial value and stop value and increment value in single line within range function. Okay,
So this is about for loop.
Thank you, students.